What's up, you guys? It's your boy Blair.
And Sadé.
And you guys, we are over the BS. What's up? Today,
we're over not knowing how to date. Oh my gosh.
we gotta help Sadé out, okay? Because she is single in these streets of LA. It's quarantine. She ain't got no man.
I want to mingle, but we got Corona. I am nervous. So
girl, we gotta figure this out, but we have help.
We have help. We have two amazing and incredible matchmakers here on the show. We've got Dominique Clark. She's an entertainment host as well. She's been seen on CW, Sheen, and Bossip, Huffington Post. Just an incredible woman all around. She has a family as well, a beautiful family. So I know she can get results. And Blair, can you introduce your special guest today?
Yes, my friend J'Lamar, he will tell you how it is, like it is, and he is a matchmaker and host out here in LA. You may have seen him on AfterBuzz as well, but he is out here helping people find love, even during the difficult times of quarantine as well. So J'Lamar, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you both of you for joining us. J'Lamar, putting our backdrops and our outfits to shame.
Ooh, he won.
I'm just sitting on my living room couch. That's it.
Is this where I've messed up in the dating game already? Like,
girl's not starting out good.
Wait, I don't mean to be shady to start this out, but Blaine, I heard you saying like she was in a relationship, but wasn't in a relationship. But are you single?
I am. I'm in a relationship. I live with my partner. We're cool.
I need to be updated, but we'll talk about that later.
I'm private. I be in my little bubble.
All right, Blair, we'll talk about it later. I'll call you.
I'll tell you the tea. But you guys, anyway, we have to get to the chase because I have so many questions about dating and quarantine because I've heard so many new ways that people are dating and it's virtual. So just tell me some of the ways that you're helping some of your clients and friends to date during this crazy time.
Well, I'll say this with my clients. So I am a certified matchmaker and relationship coach. I specifically work with African-American women between the ages of 30 and 45, all across the country. And during this time, they all obviously all look to me like, now what do I do? And so the biggest piece of advice that I had for them was to take the pressure off. I think that we often look at dating, and especially now, as an assignment that we have to complete, Mm-hmm. And I think right now, don't worry about that. I think this is a great opportunity to chill, to really get to know yourself. And I think the beauty, the silver lining in quarantining is that I have gotten the opportunity to sit with myself on some stuff and look in the mirror and evolve in ways and grow in ways and be creative in ways that I didn't get the opportunity to do pre-COVID-19. Mm-hmm. And so I think looking at this as an opportunity just to really get reacquainted with yourself, to not put the pressure on you to complete an assignment that no one gave you a deadline for, and just
somebody did a biological clock. Jesus.
That is true.
Not the biological clock.
The second thing I would say is online dating. Even though I'm a matchmaker, I am for any resource that can help my clients reach their relationship goals, if it's the right platform. So even utilizing stuff like online dating and the video chat options that they have now, and getting the opportunity to get to know other people, and even that person that you may have friend zoned, giving them the opportunity to really get to know them and share more about who they are, and if they have the ability to be someone of interest to you romantically versus just friendship wise.
Yeah, I can agree. So my clientele is same gender loving men between the ages of 25 to 50. And I don't know if you guys know about the gay community, but when we are in close proximity with ourselves, that makes us want to be with other people more. So my clientele is very, very excited about getting out there and dating. So a lot of my current clients, a lot of the questions and stuff that we've been getting is, how can I date through quarantine? And I recommend my clients that were against like dating apps and stuff like that in the beginning. I've helped them build their profiles on dating apps. Having profiles that start a conversation to make people want to inquire about who you are and what you are about. I always tell people this: when you put a blank dating profile on a dating app, it leads to endless dumb conversation.
I was going to say nudes.
It leads to news because, and then people
it looks like non-committal to me when I see blank. I'm like, there's nothing on here but like pictures of your chest. Like,
yeah, for one thing, Sadé.
But I feel like with our service, with my services for We Find Him, we've helped people build their profiles on these dating apps during quarantine, because blank profiles allow people to come into your life and have meaningless conversation. I feel like when your profile is detailed, people that aren't meant for you, they can read your profile and say, you know what, I can't be with this type of person, let me move on. So it makes the dating process a little bit easier. Another thing that we've offered is online tutorials helping people learn how to communicate while dating somebody that they're not face-to-face with. I know a lot of people have a hard time conversing over the phone. They just want to text. They don't want to FaceTime. Because we're in quarantine, we can't have that face-to-face interaction as much as we used to. Mm-hmm. So teaching people how to have those genuine conversations. So we created a list of like 100 questions to ask somebody that you're just now getting to know. Those questions can consist of small things like, you know, what made you move to the city that you're in now? That one question can spark off at least 4 or 5 different questions. What do you do for a living? What do you enjoy about that city? Why did you move from the last city? So we have a list of 100 questions that we sent to our clients just so they can begin to have those good conversations with people that they're trying to get to know during quarantine.
So that leads me to the question, okay, because I'm somebody I've always been uncomfortable with like the online dating thing. It's never really worked. But obviously now it's like the only option unless you want to get coronavirus, and that's a no. So taking the pressure off is one thing that Dominique's saying. You're saying like, you know, get online. For someone who's like me, where it's like online makes me uncomfortable, what would your really introductory steps be to kind of like when you're first starting out? Because I feel like I'd get in my head, I'm like, I don't even know what to talk about anymore. Like it feels weird. Again, I'm even uncomfortable on the apps. Like, what are those first introductory steps?
For me,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because I also put this out there. Obviously, I'm somebody who's like, I want to be relationship oriented, not just like hook up or quick dating for, you know, a few minutes sort of oriented. And I've heard so many girls also tell me, yeah, I've gone on a few like virtual dates. They're not going anywhere, or guys aren't even answering anymore. And I'm like, wait, we're all at home and you're still getting ghosted?
Yeah, he don't like you.
I don't want that.
I've heard that a lot by my friends. I've actually heard that a lot from my friends that they've been ghosted. And I'm like, girl, if you're getting ghosted during quarantine, just move on.
I suggest moving on, but
get comfortable with this whole thing.
Yeah, I just want to speak on ghosting really quick. Ghosting right now during quarantine is happening a lot because there are way more options out there for people. Right. So opposed to on the dating apps where they probably were just dating within, you know, a 5-mile radius or talk to the same 5 or 6 people. Now we have new people that have jumped on the dating apps in their community. So some people are having 10, 15 conversations in a day. And so they're weeding out those people that they're really not having a good interaction with. So not to say that you're not a good person, but you may not have been a good fit for that person. So they pushed you to the side, ghosted you, and moved on to the next person, which you should be doing at the same time too.
Okay. I was going to say stats are showing that there are way more people online dating now than before. So they're like, hey, I got options, you know? And I actually think it's a good thing not to ghost. I think there should definitely be like a conversation of, hey, this was great, but I'm not interested at this point. You know what I mean? Or moving forward.
Do you think they owe each other that in the beginning?
I think so.
Here's the kind person in me.
Okay.
If I have started communicating with someone over a length of time, right, and I've allowed them to get to know me, I'm getting to know them in ways, if I find that it's not going in the direction that I want, I think it's common courtesy to say, you know what, I've enjoyed getting to know you. I think you are a great person, you know, and I wish you much success. The reason that we're up here is to be successful at finding the person that we're most compatible with. I'm not feeling that right now with you, but I'd love to continue the conversation and how your journey's going beyond this point. I think it's a good idea for me to step away and explore other options.
I don't agree with that if it's within the first like 1 or 2 weeks. There's not much.
Well, that's different. 1 or 2 weeks, I wouldn't consider ghosting.
I think she's saying invested in someone, like you're investing.
So the ghosting period is 1 to 2 weeks.
On a dating app, I'm thinking about within 1 or 2 weeks, I've deciphered on a dating app whether or not I want to give you my phone number or not. Now, if I give you my phone number, we move to that step, and you decide to ghost me, yes, I think that the conversation needs to happen as to why we're ending this. But on a dating app, if I'm, searching for the one and I got 20 messages and I've had a conversation with you, I've enjoyed it for the past week, but I kind of realize you're not the one. Mm-hmm. On this dating app, I'm allowed to just move forward to the next person without giving you that expectation of getting to know you or expectation of letting you know that I'm not with you anymore or want to talk to you anymore.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Dominique, I'm with you on the closure. I like it when someone's like, hey, I'm not feeling you. Like, let me know. Just don't ghost me, because it's like, damn, that insecurity, it just creeps on you.
But I feel like in dating, you have to have a structured backbone. You have to have confidence because you're putting your vulnerabilities out there when you're dating. Yeah. And you cannot expect, because you put your vulnerabilities on the table, that everybody's going to respect them. Mm-hmm. So you have to be strong, vulnerable, but then also strong enough to know that some people aren't going to appreciate the wonderful person that you are.
Okay. What are like the top? I'm sorry, Dominique, keep going.
Yeah, I was just going to say rejection is a part of the process, right? Mm-hmm. You have a preference. They have a preference. Not everybody meets the mark. And so I think I agree with Lamar. I don't want to say it.
J'Lamar.
J'Lamar. I agree with the J'Lamar in that regard. Rejection is a part of the process, whether you're dating, whether you're applying for a job, whatever the case may be. And so I agree with not necessarily having an expectation of it, right? It would be nice to do that, but also recognize that, hey, they may not like me. They may not just be, be into me. And that's okay, because I also have a preference as well. And we do the same thing when it comes to, identifying people for our life. But I did want to speak to what Sadé mentioned before and the trouble that she had with online dating and not being comfortable. I think that's the first step, is addressing the discomfort that you have with it and see where that's coming from, right? Because you don't have, right now, the relationship that you have with online dating is not good. And if you're going to be successful with online dating, you have to address why the relationship is not that great and improve on that, or heal. I don't want to say heal that area because it's not that deep, but you know what I mean? Figure out what that is so that they can go up there and be optimistic and have a spirit of expectation that you are going to meet someone that's on the same page as you and aligned with you. So I think that's the first step with that.
I love that.
What makes you uncomfortable with stepping into the online dating world?
I think it's just the whole premise of, it feels like I know no one who knows them. And I've always felt like when it's through a friend, a mutual friend, there's kind of this layer of accountability to some degree because we both know someone, and I guess you feel somewhat safer from the beginning. I would say that would definitely be it. Mm-hmm. I mean, that doesn't mean that someone can't hurt you regardless of who you have in common, but I feel like there is this layer of accountability there.
So you don't have an issue starting the conversation?
I don't really.
You started with
I don't start it with I don't really like to, but honestly what I've noticed is a lot of people don't talk at first. Like, no one wants to be the talker. So I'll say hi and kind of leave it there. Or I'll say hi and I'll ask a question to open it up. But I hate when you get sentences back that are period. And I'm like, okay. This is going anywhere.
I found it with
what app are you on?
I found it with a lot of my clients. They're scared to have to start those conversations because we live in a generation where everybody wants to be chased. Everybody wants somebody chasing them.
What about chivalry though? Okay.
Chivalry is dead, girl.
Yeah, chivalry passed away a long time ago.
True, I disagree. Chivalry is still alive.
Come on, Dominique, with the.
Okay, J'Lamar, give me your spiel, and then I need to know how, Dominique, how you think I can, get chivalry back on the apps.
Yeah, but this is why I feel chivalry is alive in person. But on the dating apps, I feel like it's every man for themselves. So I feel like if you see somebody that you're heavily into or attracted to, or you like their dating profile, there's nothing wrong with you as a woman DMing them or telling them, hey, I enjoyed your profile, let's get to know each other. Mm-hmm. Vice versa with a man. If he sees you, there's no problem. He should have no issue jumping into a conversation with you. I know a lot of my female friends will take a step back and be like, I'm just gonna wait for him to like me. And I'm like, well, with dating apps, it's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Whoever sees who first should start the conversation.
Period.
Just like on Tinder, whoever the last person is to match is the one that should initially start the conversation.
Really?
Really?
I didn't know there were Tinder rules. Tinder seems like it's like Sodom and Gomorrah out there. Like, no, it's just...
That's a little rough reference.
I mean, it's wilding out there, okay?
But wait, before we get into this, but Sadé, what are you looking for? Like, what age span? What?
I don't know. Like, age span would be like, I don't know, maybe like 27-ish to like 38-ish, 37-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty broad.
Tall, short, job.
I prefer a job. I prefer taller than me since I am 5'3". Yeah.
Well, not that short, but I didn't realize you were 5'3".
You know what? I get that all the time. People always see me in like, they've seen me online too much and they're like, wait, I thought you were like tall. And I'm like, and I'm round. I'm like 5'2" 3/4. But yeah, so I think it'd be great if you had a job and like ambitions, or we're in this like climate. So if you seem like you're actively working towards something or building, or that'd be great to see. Yeah, but there's also, I guess what I wanted to address is like feeling comfortable dating during this time. Because right now I've also felt the pressure, like I haven't really been on Hinge is the app that I have right now, and I haven't really been using it as much.
Okay.
And I guess with, Black Lives Matter movement going on, and then we have our like, the coronavirus pandemic, and then everything with people being stressed out with jobs, I felt, should I even be on this app looking right now? Should I be trying to focus more on myself? But at the same time, I've like been always working on myself. I don't know if it feels like selfish or... So that was another question I had is, have you guys gotten any feedback on that from clients, or is it just like, nope, I should go and try and find someone? I don't know.
I think the biggest thing for me, especially, as someone who coaches women, our gut is always spot on. And I'm really, really big of being in touch with your inner voice and your inner self and trusting that. And so if you are feeling like, and you have the energy of now's not the time. It doesn't matter if your friends are up here and, they're finding all the guys or the girls, and, Facebook is, Tinder is popping or whatever. No, if you're in the inside of you is telling you this is not the time, listen to that and be okay with that, right? I think that we are too, it gets into the world of comparison, and we're seeing such and such over there quarantining and chilling and having a good time. And it's natural that we want those things for ourselves, but we also have to be honest with ourselves about where we are with everything that's going on in the world. And if we honestly have the mental and emotional space to invite somebody in and deal with yet another level of something else, Yeah. So I just think you have to be honest with how you're feeling and what you feel like you can handle and are willing to invest in right now.
I've talked to a lot of people who have the same feelings as you in regards to feeling guilty for still wanting to date right now. I don't think that you should feel any guilt for wanting to seek partnership from somebody at this very moment. As you said, you've done a lot of work on yourself. So has so many other people. Speaking for myself, I've been single for 6 years. I told myself 2020, I'm ready to step into that dating.
I said the same thing too, and I was like, wow, you picked a bad time to get your shit.
Yeah, so it's like people like us who've done the work, who love ourselves and finally know what we want. It still isn't a bad time for us to date, and we shouldn't feel guilty. So you should feel no guilt for wanting to seek partnership from somebody. I think right now is a great time for people to start dating because a lot of people are at home, and opposed to people having the hectic, busy schedules, they have time to sit down and have genuine conversations. They have time to FaceTime. You get a feel for their personality because mentally a lot of people are actually, despite what's going on right now within our culture, Prior to that, I think people had a little clear sense of life because they had time to sit down, restructure, re-strategize, and replan. So I feel like people kind of know right now where they want to see themselves in the next 6 to 12 months. So they're kind of ready to date. So I'll say that to say, I don't think that you should feel guilty for wanting to seek partnership during this time. I think it's a great time to find somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with.
I just feel like it's a good head start, because if you start dating now, it's like when this is all over, you kind of already know the person, you know what they're about. You're just ready now to have more of that physical time together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, this brings me, well, sort of, to the next question. I've heard a lot about these virtual dates. I have yet to go on one. Obviously, you guys already know I'm like kind of using the apps, kind of not. I would, for anybody who's listening as well, what is virtual date etiquette? Like, what does that even look like?
And I have a question too. What is the best apps to use for you guys, you think? So make that answer both questions if you can.
I think to start off with same gender loving, for the same gender loving community, same gender loving men, I think the best app right now to use, now people have had more success on, is Tinder. And they're starting to break into Hinge. We do have other apps within our community that we use, Jacked, Grindr, but those type of apps are really used for hookups. Mm-hmm. The apps in our community, such as Tinder and Hinge, give people the opportunity to really get to know somebody on a beyond hookup level. Some of the great quarantine dating ideas that me and my company have come up with is something as small as you two getting in the kitchen, buying the same ingredients for the same meal, and making that meal together. That type of conversation, that type of dialogue, you get to see so much. You get to see personality. You get to see if the kitchen clean. You
can see if they can cook.
Do you got seasonings?
Right, what type of seasonings are? Because if you ain't got Lawry's, I don't want to talk to you. So that type of activity, you get to see so much about a person. Also, even if you guys sit on FaceTime, you turn a Netflix show on, and you have that dialogue as though you guys sit next to each other, but you're on FaceTime about the show that you're watching. Those type of small things will get you so far with the person because you get to gauge their personality. You get to see what type of honest conversations they have. You get to see how they cook. You get to see how they clean. If they clean up after they cooking. Because I'm one of the people, I cook and clean at the same time.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Some people like leaving fish in the sink. That shit drives me crazy. So yes, those are some like the ideas that we've come up with quarantine dating. I think quarantine dating is cool. I love it.
I gotta change my mindset, but you guys are selling it to me right now. Dominique, what are your thoughts on the best apps and virtual dating etiquette?
Yeah, so right now my clients are loving Bumble. They like Bumble because as women, they are a little bit more in control, right? And they get to choose the people that they want to engage with as opposed to having an inbox full of folks that they're not interested in. So Bumble has been something that they really love and I suggest and I coach them on. In terms of virtual dating, go ahead.
Do you feel like Bumble takes away from chivalry at all?
I can see where you would think that, but I think that chivalry is not necessarily in who makes the initial, approach or conversation. I am definitely with J'Lamar. I think it's totally fine for a woman to approach a guy to initiate a conversation. In fact, I think you should. If you come across someone that you think their profile resonates with you, there's some similarities there, say hello, initiate the conversation. That is what you're there for. Do that and to connect with other people. So I can see how you could see that. But no, I don't, because as soon as you initiate that conversation, chivalry can pick up right there.
All right. You heard that, ladies. You heard that, ladies, from both sides.
I have a question too, because I noticed that I feel like I don't want to say races, but from my perspective of what I've seen, when I'm with like my white friends, I feel like they use a lot of like dating apps and things like that. But a lot of my black friends can still they meet people face to face, or like they feel comfortable talking to people. Like yesterday I was in Walmart and a guy went up to two girls to introduce himself and they were African American. So I just feel like, do you guys feel like there's different types of dating or different things that you tell your clients that maybe not are comfortable with that?
Sure. I think as a matchmaker and a coach, it's my job to get to know my client.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they go through an 1.5-hour consultation with me, and that's where we determine if we're fit for each other, right? So I'm literally getting to know everything about them except for their social. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so from there, I'm able to say, here's the next best step, right? And how to approach this, because everybody is different, right? And so, yeah, for sure, I think people approach things and dating very differently. Everybody is different. Everybody has different backgrounds, different perspectives, different values, different influences, you know, and so that's going to affect how they show up in the dating space.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Like, I agree with Dominique. We only do a 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes, I can tell how this thing going. So we have a 30-minute consultation. And that allows us to gauge the plan that we need to put together for our clients. Every person is different. Some people are very much so introverts, and they're scared to have that initial conversation. And then you have those extroverts who don't mind stepping up to the plate and having conversation with people. And then you have people who are extroverts in their friend circles and then introverts in dating.
Mm.
So you have to kind of gauge the client to see how you can better help them. And like I said, I'm big on like lists and stuff. So we have like a list of like first questions to ask somebody when you first meet them in person, or how to hype yourself up to get ready to have a conversation with somebody that you may have a crush on. How to stop DMing your crushes when you see them in public and just going up to them and having that conversation. Mm-hmm. I'm a type of person, I feel like if I've seen you in public and then you turn around and then you DM me and tell me that you see me in public and you didn't speak,
that's weird.
I think you're weird. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like giving people that boost of encouragement. I think our job as coaches are to push them into the game more and not leave them on the bench.
Love that.
I had a guy do that to me in church one time.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
my last fiance was from church, honey, and it didn't work out.
Dear Jesus. Ooh.
Don't do it.
I'm happy that I was like, no, this ain't it.
I want to get Dominique's take definitely on the virtual, dating etiquette that she's with her clients. So we have them from both sides, because you've had some great ideas, J'Lamar.
Well, here's the thing. I'm very just simple with it. Honestly, you need to show up as yourself. So if you want to come up there all glammed up one day and the next day you coming in your sweats and your hoodie, do that. I think this is a great opportunity for you to show who you are, the real of who you are, you know what I mean, and be comfortable with that. And so the first thing that I would say, if there was virtual dating etiquette, was to not be afraid to be yourself and be real. And not even just in being yourself, but being real about where you are and what you want and need out of a relationship. I think it's so imperative to have those conversations earlier on, so no one is wasting their time. But the second thing is,
how early in the virtual space? It just seems, I don't know.
Whether it's virtual or in person, for me, on a first date, I would like, in addition to getting to know you, I would like to know where you see yourself in a relationship. What are your dating goals? So I can know if your goals are the same as mine. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, are you ready to get married next week? But what are your goals? What are your relationship aspirations, so that you can see if there's some synergy there? And I don't think there's anything wrong with having that conversation on the first date, because the point of a date is to get to know enough about someone to see if you want to see them again. So it's your job as someone who could be potentially inviting someone in your life to get the answers to the questions that you need answered, right? Mm-hmm. Or to ask the questions, that you need answered.
I have a question. So a lot of my girlfriends literally will get off work at 5 o'clock, start glam at 5:30 so they can be ready for a 7 p.m. date, virtual date. Is it your recommendation that you get cute for that first interaction? Or should they just be bonnet, no makeup, nothing?
Honestly, if it was a first date in real life, what would you do?
Yeah.
You would get cute. Mm-hmm. And so treat it the same way. It just is a different avenue of connecting with someone. Mm-hmm. But what I am saying is, if on date 3 or date 2, you don't feel like doing that, they already see what you got, what you can do. Don't feel pressured to feel like you have to spend an hour on glam, before getting on. Because let me tell you, with the interviews and stuff that I've had to do, honestly, with folks and meeting with clients, it is so annoying for me to have to put on makeup for 45 minutes or an hour out of my day. Mm-hmm. That's it. You know what I mean? So I would much rather not do that if I didn't have to. So if I didn't feel like that come time for our 8 o'clock date, I'm not going to do that, and you shouldn't feel pressured to. So that's all.
I did that for you guys. I put on lashes and the whole face.
Yes.
I did that for you guys. But I just want to say, we have like 4 minutes left. Blair, do you have a last question, or should we have them throw out some of their, final thoughts and socials?
I mean, really quickly, I just wanted to know, what are some questions that you ask just your clients first and foremost, right from the get-go, so you can kind of have an idea of what they're looking for, but also finding the right person for them as well? Because I don't know if you necessarily have like 2 clients that you're trying to put together, or you have 1 client that you're trying to match with like the person they've always had a crush on. Just tell me a scenario that you guys usually have to deal with.
Very first question that I ask my clients every time is, why you? What makes you valuable, and what value will you add to a relationship? Ooh. The reason why I ask that is because, and I have a book on it. It's called She's Valuable, But Does She Know It? Check it out. It's available.
Okay, plug. Come on, plug.
I realized that when I was matching my clients earlier on when I started, I could match them up with an amazing guy, but they'd self-sabotage 6 months, 3 months, 4 weeks later. You know what I mean? And I realized that they knew their worth professionally. They've climbed the corporate ladder. They've got the degrees. They've got great, jobs, financially stable. But when it came to knowing their personal value, they didn't know. And they struggled with saying, this is what makes me valuable. So for me, before you go into any dating space, any type of relationship with anybody, it's important that you know who you are, you know your value, and you know what you bring to the table. Because right now, I think we're in a culture where we're like, well, what you got? What you doing? How are you going to benefit me? No, how are you also going to benefit someone else? And it also makes you a better filter. When you know your value, it's easier for you to show up and knock out the people that aren't meant to be a part of your life. Right? When you know your worth, when you know your value. So that's the first question that I ask. And the whole reason why I wrote a book on it, because I realized I'm wasting my time if I'm not coaching my clients up and getting them to recognize that not only are you valuable, but here are the reasons why you are, and being able to fearlessly and effectively communicate that in the dating space.
Yeah, just to piggyback on, we do the same thing, but we also ask the people in the beginning, what level of dating are you on? Are you ready for that true commitment, that lifetime commitment? Or you just want to get your feet wet? And depending on that level of dating that they're on, it depends on whether or not we match them with somebody on that same level or not. The worst thing that we can do as matchmakers is put you on a level with somebody else that's not on the same level as you. We don't want to hinder your process because somebody else just isn't where you are. So that's one of the questions that we ask. Along with, we ask people like, are you ready to become him, or you want us to prepare you for him? The difference is, if you want us to prepare you for him, we can just give you the basic dating coaching because you're ready. But if you want to prepare yourself for him, we go through a whole different process to where we're coaching people how to be better within themselves. Because the better you are with yourself, the better you'll be for somebody else.
I love that.
And I think on that note, we're like running out of time. So if you guys could just drop your socials, and thank you so much for being on Over BS and giving us just little dating tips through in there. So either of you can start.
Well, you can follow me on all social media. You can follow me on all social media platforms at I am J'Lamar, and you can find my matchmaking company, We Find Him, at We Find Him.
Perfect.
Awesome. You can find me at D Clark, or that's a lie. You can find me at @I am_D Clark on Instagram and Twitter. Also on Facebook. You can connect with me on my website and find out about all my services and things that I do at www.dominiqueclark.com. She's Valuable, But Does She Know It is available on all retailing platforms.
Awesome. Well, I'm Blair.
I'm Sadé. We are Over the BS at Over the BS Show.
Thank you guys. We appreciate you
so much.
Thank you all so much.